Hi everyone. So after quite a short wait, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 10 has officially been released. Two episodes are out now, and I've received a lot of comments asking me to talk about it. And so, I have my trusty little notepad over here. I've watched the two episodes, and I'm going to give you guys some of my thoughts and opinions on the 2.5 hours of content that I've seen. Right, so forgive me for if I jump from places to places. I don't really like I don't want to give like a chronological review or something like that. I just want to say what I think that, I want to say or something. I don't know. Right. So firstly, I would like to talk about, Bosco's glow up. So I remember when season 14, the cast spoilers first came out. I took a look at the list of queens and I saw Bosco, and the name alone stood out. And then I saw like the horns and the overall aesthetic, and I just was really in love with her, And then when the season began, I think there was something about Bosco that seemed a little reserved, that seemed a little, like hiding behind a certain barrier. And it's also just, that season had so many strong contenders for the crown. Lady Camden, Willow Pill, Diabetes. It's because of things like that I think that my taking notice of Bosco kind of subsided, and I just didn't really care for her that much, despite the fact that she was an obvious frontrunner. I think 3 wins. But this season, I think that, since transitioning and since going through FFS, the surgery thing, I think she has just grown into a so much more confident person, especially now that she is able to present the way that she wants to present. And that's why I'm a huge advocate for, drag queens going for surgeries or getting work done, because, we like queens when they're confident. And as toxic as it sounds, a lot of it is looks wise. A lot of confidence comes from your appearance and how people see you. And so I'm a huge advocate for, pumping stuff into your face and things like that. As long as it allows you to become a more confident person, and the desire to do it stems from inside and not from external forces like needing validation and things like that. Right? So yeah, Bosco's confidence is something that really stood out to me, and I think it's something that has allowed her to become an even fiercer contender for the crown, because she just presents herself in such a confident way that it's honestly kind of intimidating. Like, if I was a contestant in this bracket, the person that I would be afraid of, even though Irene has 2 wins, is Bosco, because she just has that quiet energy about her that is just so sickening, So yeah, the second thing that I wrote down, which is honestly the first thing that I noticed, is that RuPaul's really having fun this season. There's a lot of kikiing with the queens. The first episode, she had a sit-down walkthrough with every single queen individually, which is not really something we've seen from like an episode 1, because of just how big the groups are usually. But these individual sit-down sessions, and RuPaul just seems to be trying to establish a genuine connection with these queens, and she's just really having fun, like the mini challenges and just bantering with the queens on stage. RuPaul's getting much more involved in the challenges himself, the maxi challenges. Like on episode 2, when he was acting with them, it was just it reminded me a lot of the older seasons of Drag Race, and I don't know if it's like this because I'm currently rewatching the earlier seasons. I'm currently on season 5, but it really reminds me of season 5, of times when he would just he appeared less like an executive producer and more like a host that genuinely cares for the queens, which has been a big critique of RuPaul these past seasons. You know, a lot of people say that he's acting it up for the Emmy. He is, just letting everything get to his head or something like that. So it's really refreshing to see him let loose this season, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of Ru showing his personality and things like that, because he has a really enduring personality. So which brings me on to my third point. Just now when I speak about the small group that, the 6 queens for a premiere episode seems rather small. It's, to me, weirdly boring when there are so little contestants. I don't know what it is. I I think that I genuinely enjoy these queens. Aja, Bosco, Irene. I genuinely like them. Deja. But something about a premiere episode, I really want to see more people. So having just 6 queens there and having a 1 hour and 20-minute duration for the show just seems like they have to add in so many random bits along the way. And I don't know if it's the size that's making it boring, or if it's just, the format, since it's a rather new format. But, I've seen people on Twitter, I've seen their reactions to the episodes, and they really enjoy it. They say that the format's fun and things like that. But I don't know, I just don't really find it that interesting, to be honest. The challenges are fun, but I don't think that they're fun enough to stretch out a 1.5 hour episode, especially with such a small group of queens. But I mean, I'm not gonna complain once Georges comes on my screen. I mean, everyone knows how I feel about Georges, so it is what it is, my boy. Right, so next I want to talk about Irene. This is precisely why I think we should give early out queens another chance at Drag Race. We've seen so many of these upward trajectories before. We've just seen, on no, that's not on Irene's season. Diabetes on Bosco's season, so 14, right? Irene's on 15. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I was going to talk about Diabetes. She was eliminated on the first episode and then brought back immediately and just became a powerhouse, and just went all the way to the grand finale. This is why I think that the first challenge really doesn't determine. I'm a huge advocate of no one going home on the first challenge, and I'm really glad that out of every single person they could have picked, I know Alyssa just won Global All Stars, but they could have picked her again. They could have picked Eureka again. They could have picked so many different people that are safe bets for All Stars. And yet they chose Irene, I think. So I think that as long as the potential is there, I find it really exciting, the prospect of bringing back someone that went home early on their original season, because you never know what, they just might have had a bad week, and you can never be too sure of their capabilities and what they bring to the table. So I'm really, really glad that they gave Irene a new chance, and so far she's been doing the best statistically. I mean, she was in the top for both episodes. Really weirdly crunchy lip syncing. I mean, she has lost, out of the 3 lip syncs that she has done against Amethyst on her season and Aja and Bosco on this one, she has lost all 3 of them, and all 3 of them were against trans women. So Maybe Irene's just, you know, doing it for the dolls and not. She believes in women's rights and women's wrongs, and so she's deliberately throwing every single lip sync that she's in just to let the dolls have their shine. So respect Irene, but yeah, bring back more early out girls. And the next thing, and last thing I want to talk about before heading into predictions and things like that, is Olivia Lux. I am finding it rather hard to take a liking towards Olivia this season. I think that Olivia is someone that struggles with being on TV. I think that she finds it hard to be the person that she is because she might fear, things like what other people might think, which was why on her season she had this like cute girl persona, this good girl, and this whole good girl thing on her season. Like, it was a whole thing. It was arguably why she got sent home. And just in this season, I think that there was so much critique over that good girl thing on her season that she kind of feels the need to prove that she isn't that way on this season, which kind of then puts her, like, it doesn't remove the fact that she's trying to fit herself in a certain box or archetype for the camera. It just changes the box. Like, it was a good girl box and now it's like a good girl gone bad box. So I'm finding hard to see the genuineness in Olivia's behavior. And a lot of the things that she do kind of feels a little bit produced and deliberate. Firstly, I understand the importance of houses in ballroom, but constantly repeating the fact that she's from Miyake Mugler, like, it seems, I don't know, I just don't really like the way she portrays herself. It's like she, wrote down a list of things that she wanted to show that she was before coming on set, and now she's just referring to it and, oh, I'm the ballroom girl, so I have to present myself like the ballroom girl. I'm the good girl gone bad girl, so I have to present myself as the good girl gone bad girl. And just everything feels very produced from her so far, even the fight with Bosco and things like that. I mean, even she said it. She said that she feels the need to prove herself, that she's able to stand up for herself and things like that. So I really like her looks and things like that. I just feel like that the whole personality thing is there's a bit of a disconnect there, and it is what is making it hard for me to root for her. And yeah, Deja and Phoenix are there. So yeah, I mean, predictions, yeah, that's the last thing that I gotta talk about. Predictions. I think that there's only one episode left. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think Phoenix is going to win it. Just being honest. I think she's an icon for drag, but for Drag Race, I don't really think so. I think the top three from this bracket, very, very obvious. Aja, Irene, and Bosco. Just editing wise and everything, it's just very, very obvious that Irene and Bosco are going to be there. Aja, I can see substituted with Olivia. Not something that I want to happen, but something that I can see happening. But even though I can see it happening, I think it's highly unlikely. I think that it's very clear that Irene, Bosco, and Aja are the three people that are going to advance into the semifinals. And so yeah, I'm really excited to see who makes it. Not really. I know who makes it. I mean, I don't know the spoilers, but the 3 girls that I said just now. But yeah, I hope the episodes get more interesting. I honestly just can't wait for the semifinals to begin. I just want to see girls go home. This feels like, right now it feels like summer camp. And I need it to feel like Hunger Games. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the first 2 episodes. If the next episode's fun, I'll make another recap if you guys want. If it's not fun, then probably no recap. I mean, I don't want to film like a 4-minute video saying hooray to the top 3 or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.